This world is a cold place. A place we all grew up to believe is full of joy and love. Not all people in this world are bad, but all too many walk with a sinister purpose. I recently went searching through unsolved mysteries and cases when I came upon this creepy as hell voicemail. Upon listening to it for less than 10 seconds, I quickly realized this was something truly horrifying. I searched all over the internet to find some sort of source for this voicemail, but I couldn't seem to find anything. I stumbled upon some Reddit posts, which did help dig up some information that could help us solve this mystery. A user by the name of Demeter of New had made the initial post with the audio. The original post says, "Thank you for taking the time to read this. To make a long story short, my significant other got a new phone. For the first time, she has a visual voicemail. A family member left her a voicemail today, and when checking it, discovered she had several missed voicemails. She started going through the voicemails, typical stuff, family, bill collectors, etc. But one voicemail, dated Friday, June 9th of 2017 at 4:38 p.m. was from a number we do not know. Now, this is definitely an unusual occurrence. It's not every day you buy a brand new phone fully loaded with a 3-minute long, highly disturbing voicemail already on it. Before we listen to the voicemail, let's go over some of the info the OP provided about the phone call. The voicemail was dated almost a year ago and was not discovered until today. I will be contacting Phoenix Police to provide them with the audio, timestamp, and phone number. I have provided the number, and I have star 67 the number. It went straight to voicemail, just a generic "You've reached 480 XXX XXXXX. My significant other has had the same phone number for 10 years. Now, for obvious reasons, I'm not going to play the entire audio segment here on YouTube, as you know our overlords would not like that too much. So, I have provided the link to this and all the other information in the description below. There are some possible connections with this voicemail though. It could be part of one of two cases that I have found. Connection 1. There was a Phoenix man accused of forcing girls to be his pets and was charged with trafficking in April 3rd of 2018. Law enforcement and authorities in Utah have charged a man with human trafficking for allegedly taking a St. George girl to his Arizona home to keep her as a pet. Now, the 38-year-old was arrested in June of 2017 for allegedly recruiting a 17-year-old girl and driving her to Phoenix, where he restrained and sexually abused her. Now, there is no real definitive proof to connect this case to the voicemail, but it does fit the time frame, and oddly enough does fit the MO of this man. Connection number 2. A Reddit user by the name of _P searched NamUs and came up with 3 missing cases of women in Arizona before June. The closest was June 4th, but it was a woman who went missing crossing the border. But this doesn't rule it out entirely. There is not much information on her missing case, but I do have the link in the description as everything else will be. Maybe you can try to find something more that I couldn't. A Reddit user by the name of General Walrus did write out a possible transcript of the call. In the intro, it does definitely sound like she is trying to say he's trying to rape me or he tried to rape me. It sounds like she says help me, and a lot of other things in distress. I will also post the link to that transcript to see what you think of it. My conclusion though, after all this information and the possible theories and explanations put to rest, I think we can safely say one of two things happened in this recording. 1. Someone was held against their will, possibly sexually assaulted, and even possibly murdered. Or 2. This is a great ARG made by the OP, and he has duped all of us. Over the centuries of humanity's existence, there have been tales of dog-like humanoids. In Karnataka, there is a mysterious string of deaths and disappearances from 1983 that remains unsolved to this very day. These events are known as the Wolves of Pavagada. In 1983, a small town in Karnataka called Pavagada witnessed a series of gruesome deaths. 11 people lost their lives during these 2 years, a majority of them being children. While Pavagada might have been where the start of the massacre occurred, similar instances were reported in 3 other nearby villages, sometimes just hours apart from each other. The killing started on April 29, 1983, when a 5-year-old girl in the Pavagada taluk was taken from her house sometime around midnight. Less than a few days later, a 3-year-old girl from the town went missing as well. Both scenes of the crime had one strong similarity. They both showed paw prints, but no drag marks. Within a matter of weeks, 5 other girls have lost their lives, and in some cases, only a limb or a skull or bits of clothing to be identified by. With all this to go by so far, it could very well be a serial killer. But that doesn't explain how the killers, or killer, had dealt grotesque damage to the victims without being heard by a family member who were just feet away. The murders were initially attributed to man-eating wolves, and a mass hunt began. A witness claimed they saw a wolf-like creature taking away a little girl. In Raipur, a nearby village, 6 wolves were reported to have been hunted in a few days. After 7 people were murdered, multiple hunts were carried out, including those for hyenas, which caused a decline in the population of the canines, and the attack seemed to subside. But another attack happened 2 months later, only this time, this one left officials puzzled. Skulls of the victims were being found left behind. Now, what makes this so odd is that the forest officials were speculative of whether these were really hyenas or wolves, since they don't typically leave behind parts of their prey in that manner. Locals began to blame black magic and tantric activities as the cause of these events, considering the fact that sacrifices were a common fear, and among the children who were murdered, most of them seemed to be only female. With no evidence of any foul play by humans, or any known wild animal in the area, officials were feeling stumped. Then, dog trackers who traced scents from the bodies in a quest to find the killer were led to a cave, but nothing was found, which resulted in the government just blaming things on wolves. While the government blames wolves for the killings, which in turn has led to a mass poaching, severely hurting the local populations, locals have an urban legend around the killings. Something that is often overlooked in this case was that multiple locals claim to have seen a bipedal wolf creature. It leads some to claim it's a werewolf, some blame tantrics, and others believe in man-eating wolves. But for the rest of us, this string of events might not ever be solved. So, do you think some sort of dogman, werewolf, bipedal canine kind of creature was involved in this? Or is this just a bunch of odd occurrences happening at the same time? Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you have any cryptid evidence that you would like to see on the show reviewed by me, please comment those down below. And be sure to subscribe, because I upload videos like this multiple times a week.